Hello and welcome to my knife channel. What I'm doing here is called whittling, and I'm doing it with a whittler. Whittling, you can just do it's a pastime. You can just make a pointed stick or just carve wood, carve the bark off of a wood. It's just something people will do just to sit down and do, just to fiddle around. Or you could actually carve something. This was probably whittled. Somebody probably hand carved this out of a piece of wood and then painted it and made a cat out of it. So a whittler, like any knife can do this, but the term on traditional, it's not really a traditional pattern name, but they started defining them as a three-bladed equal end, or a three-bladed penknife. Usually the main blade, the thing that distinguishes it is the main blade is operating off of two springs. And this one is a split back whittler. Here's a Rough Ryder. I don't have a Rough Ryder split back whittler, but this is a Rough Ryder whittler. And it's a little bit smaller. It has a similar type of drop point blade, but it's a smaller knife overall. And looking at the history of them and everything, they were basically, let's see if I can get this in here. Whoa. They had a bunch of different types, like equal-ended whittlers, and this is, it says basically the handle material doesn't matter. The main thing is that it has a large blade in one end and two small cutting blades of equal length on the other end. So they have a bunch of different types. They even have them in positions. And a jumbo, what they call jumbo, is not necessarily super large. It's more like this, big fat sleeve board whittlers. So I think you would call, this guy might be classified in the jumbo whittler pattern. Anyway, they're pretty cool little knives. And I don't have a huge selection of them. Like I said, I just got these two right here. And of the two, if I was going to be carrying one, I'd like the Marbles one. It's just a little bit bigger. It's thicker in the handle, and the blade is bigger. The main blade. It's got that long match strike pull as opposed to just like a little nail nick one on this one. But on this one, I like the selection of blades better because you have a little coping blade and a little pin blade. And on this one over here, you just have two. This nail nick's really hard to get into on this one. Don't want to do it. I just trimmed my fingernails recently too. There we go. There you go. They both look like that. This is basically a pin blade. This one's a little easier to get to just because of the cutout relief. Let's see if that one's, yeah, see how low that one's sitting? They probably could have brought that up. When you're making these knives, if you grind out too much material, that's going to drop that down. If they left just a little bit more material on this kick here, it would have given you more room to grab that nail nick. But that's just a minor thing. Something I noticed they did real well here is they don't have any proud pins. They actually ground down this pin here on some of the, this is just a jig bone one, but on some of the Rough Ryder ones, they'll leave those pins a little proud. You can kind of see it on that one. You don't really feel it on this particular knife, but on some of the ones like the stag bone that they've got, that Rough Ryder is doing, if a pin lines up in a valley like this, they'll only get part of it. They won't get the rest of it. you think about it, it's only like $13 knife. They can't spend a lot of time, you know, polishing everything out. But this one, they did a pretty good job, like I said, of that. You have some gaps back here, but I mean, that's normal. It doesn't affect it at all. If you're paying $100 and something, then yeah, you'd probably want all this just like smooth and everything. But for a $13 knife, it's a pretty good deal. Like I said, this one doesn't have a half stop, but it does have a full stop. The small blades have a half stop. I took it out. I cleaned it. Right up here was pretty nasty. I took some alcohol and a white and cleaned that off. And then I went through in there and cleaned that out. And then I put some KPL on my pivots. And yeah, I really like this one. I just gave an initial review of it the other day. I just got it in a day ago, and I started comparing it to the Rough Ryder one. And this one's all right. You know, it's a little bit smaller in the pocket. It would do, you know, all right. But like I said, if I'm going to carry that much in my pocket, I'd rather carry this much and have a little bit more blade. And like I said, it's got a very nice swedge on top here. This is really well done. Rough Ryder has another whittler pattern where it's a swell end or a balloon end. Like down here, it's just comes down to more of a, it sticks out a little bit more at the pivot. And it would, the main blade, sorry about that, I had an incoming phone call and it blinked out the video. What I was trying to say was the main difference on the Rough Ryder swell end one is it has two clip blades. There's a big clip blade here, and then there's another clip blade on the other end, and then a pin blade. I'll put a picture up of that. They don't have a lot of these in stock. The Whittlers, they do have this one in stock, but the Rough Ryder, like this one, the model number is 375, so it's an earlier version. But yeah, they're pretty nice. Whittler's a pretty nice little pattern to have. Used to see people sit on porches, you know, like grandpa or whatever, in a rocking chair or just a chair, and he'd have his corncob pipe and have a piece of wood, and he'd just be whittling. Wouldn't be listening to music or doing much, just sitting there looking at, staring off into space, carving on a piece of wood. It's not completely a mindless task because you get an example of how your knife will deal when it meets something other than paper or cardboard. You know, how it would handle like a rougher material. And you get the feel of wood, you know, how it feels, you know, like you're carving. I don't know. It's just kind of a calming pastime, you know, something to do, especially if you like knives and stuff. It makes a mess, so do it outside on a porch, or if you've got a spouse or anything, you start doing this in your kitchen, you're going to catch hell for it. But because you can't always clean up all the little shavings, there's going to be little pieces lying here and there, and they're going to go, "What's this?" Yeah, that's why I'm not married. That's one of the reasons. Anyway, thanks for watching, and happy whittling.